Over the past 30 days or so, several Republican politicians have been asked whether Trump lost the 2020 election. Those politicians include J.D. Vance during the debate, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, during an interview over the weekend, and the Senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton, also in an interview over the last weekend. All of them refuse to answer the question yes or no, and it is a simple question that requires a one-word response. What is generally not recognized by voters, including the Democrats, is that the main thrust of Trump and his Republican allies after the 2020 election was to cancel millions of mail-in votes submitted by U.S. citizens sufficient to swing several swing states like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania from Biden to Trump. The Republicans were not claiming that those votes were cast by undocumented immigrants or dead people, but that lawful voters, citizens, following procedures adopted by bipartisan state election commissions, had to have their mail-in votes canceled by a court after the election. The Republicans were claiming that the procedures adopted by the state election commissions were unlawful under state law, and lawful voters who relied upon those procedures when casting their votes had to have their votes canceled after the election was over. Since Democrats vote in greater numbers than Republicans by mail-in ballot, canceling all mail-in votes would have resulted in Trump becoming president, and that's why the Republicans were seeking to cancel millions of votes by U.S. citizens. The Republicans did try to present some evidence that there were some illegal votes, but their efforts were shot down by every court that heard them. While Trump claimed in an interview with David Moore in January 2017 that millions of undocumented immigrants voted for Hillary, and he claimed in that interview that not a single one voted for him, no proof was ever offered to support the claim, which is normally the case for Trump. Studies of actual votes have proven over and over again, and are just ignored by Republicans, of course, that undocumented immigrants rarely even try to vote. I have cited one study in the More section below. There is a report which has been debunked by anyone who is objective that has looked at it. They used a survey where undocumented immigrants, non-citizens, were asked whether he or she was registered to vote without adding in the United States. The answers given could easily have been meant registered to vote in Venezuela or Mexico or some other foreign country. It was a farcical analysis by persons, in my opinion, who wanted to reach a result that could be cited by right-wing influencers and Trump. Notwithstanding a lack of real proof supporting the Republicans' claims of non-citizen voting, and the proof which does exist that undermines that claim of theirs, the Republicans nonetheless used their unsubstantiated and contradicted with evidence claim to justify new voting regulations that make it harder for U.S. citizens to vote. It is not really easy for me to vote on election day. I have to stand in line for an hour or more, sometimes as long as 2 hours, even when I vote early, because the Tennessee Republicans, a committed anti-democracy party, have made it more time-consuming and cumbersome for me to vote by mail. I was struck by Musk claiming at Trump's Butler rally that Trump needed to win in November to protect the right to vote, to preserve the Constitution and democracy in America, to keep the Democrats from taking away everyone's guns and to protect our freedom of speech. Maybe Musk and other Trump cult members need to take a second look at the real evidence that the Republicans tried to overturn the 2020 election results, attempting to install Trump as the winner, notwithstanding the certified state totals, attempted to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power on January 6th, and tried to cancel millions of votes cast by U.S. citizens. For those who are time constrained, I've cited a couple of Wikipedia articles on those subjects in the More section below.